to you all. Hope you are well and safe. If you would please put your palms together for a meditation reading. I know nothing at all of good or evil, for if I could know thoroughly, as Amida Tathagata knows, that an act was good, then I would know good. If I could know thoroughly, as the Tathagata knows, that an act was evil, then I would know evil. But with the foolish being full of blind passions, in this fleeting world, this burning house, all matters without exception are empty and false, totally without truth and sincerity. The Nembutsu alone is true and real. Shinran Shoni, from the Tanisho postscript. If you would please, join me in Gasho. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. According to the Hebrew calendar, September 8th was Rosh Hashanah. And it's a 10-day observance of self-examination and penance. It's to amend the behavior of oneself. And it's to seek forgiveness from wrongdoings against God and against other human beings. And after these 10 days, it leads into Yom Kippur, which is a day of atonement. That's a day of fasting of all food and drink. And they pray to ask for forgiveness for mistakes made during the year. Yet during Rosh Hashanah, there's the blowing of the shofar, which is a hollowed out ram's horn. And it's to call the people to spiritual awakening. In Buddhism, we ring the concho outside before services. And that is to awaken our ears and mind to focus on the Dharma at hand. We prepare ourselves to listen. Before chanting, we ring the bell. And that is to awaken our eyes, our ears and eyes, to the words on the page. And it is also to help us to truly hear the words of the Buddha. As I'm chanting, I use 2 sticks and hit it against each other. And those are called setaku. When I hit the setaku at the end of each sentence, it's to bring us back to the words. We have a tendency to zone out while we're chanting. But so when I hit the setakus, it's to bring me back, bring us back, even myself, back to the words of the Buddha. So many similarities, well, not many, but similarities of the Rosh Hashanah in Buddhism. Rosh Hashanah is a time of self-reflection of the year past. It's to look at their faults. It's also a time to correct, or not even correct, but do good deeds. To correct those past errors. In Buddhism, we have self-reflection. And it's to look inside ourselves, our true selves, to understand what our true selves is. And we reflect on where this blind passion of greed, anger, and ignorance, which is a lack of wisdom, comes from. But are our blind passions so deep that we refuse to look at them? Can we ever let go of ego? And are we willing to look at our ego, to where, what, and why it keeps coming out? And that is why we have to have a willingness to look within ourselves, to truly hear, to listen, to learn, to think, to what is inside our hearts, our minds, and what it is telling us. Why we have such strong ego. And we all have it. We all have ego. And I must admit, ministers probably have the biggest ego in the world. Why? Because they have that, they think they have this knowledge. But you know what? They're just as human as everyone else. And they still have blind passions. And they don't know everything. So their ego also is big. And there's no humbleness in this. Because they believe being learned. But you know, as a minister, I have so much more to learn. I have so much more to deepen my understanding and my entrusting in the teachings. And it takes a lot of strength. It takes a lot of inside of me to find, to release all my blind passions. And I haven't yet. I'm still greedy. I still have anger. And yes, I do have ignorance. Yet I can learn. I can hear. I can listen. I can listen to others. For they also teach me. Self-reflection, so that I can control, maybe not even control, but to get a hold of this passions that I have. And I let my Namu Amidabutsu, Nembutsu, to give me guidance and directions, and to help me to just stop and think before I react, to show my actions, and to maybe even control my words of what I have to, before I have to say something. And it's always Namo Amida Butsu. Silently, out loud, with my palms together. It doesn't matter. It's those few seconds to give me that moment of pause, to think, to listen, to hear myself. So, Rosh Hashanah, a time of self-reflection. Buddhism, always a time to look within ourselves, to understand, to learn what, where, and why of our greed, anger, and impatience, and ignorance. So if you would please put your palms together in Gashu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.